Welcome to the Real Freedom Podcast, where we inspire you to pursue your passion to gain time and financial freedom through opportunities in real estate. I'm your host, Mike Swenson. Let's get some real freedom together. All right, welcome everybody. We've got another episode of Real Freedom Stories. And, you know, a lot of people talk about doing video as a real estate agent, right? Like I want to do video. I want to get into video. I don't know how to do video. I'm not consistent with video. And so today we've got your guy here. We've got Palm Beach's Paul Lykins, and he's going to share with us about how he's building and growing his real estate background and growing his business through YouTube and through making awesome videos. And so Paul, we're so excited to have you. We're so excited for you to share how to do it, because I know lots of agents want to do it and don't do it, or want to do it and give up after 2 videos because they didn't go viral. So we would love to hear your wisdom. So welcome, Paul. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Awesome, Mike. Thanks. I'm excited to be here. And funny enough, I'm still waiting for a video to go viral. It's hard to get a viral video, guys. You can't make a viral video. It just happens. It has to just be that right thing. And I've seen some agents who have. I know there's a realtor who had one that went viral, and it's amazing. Matter of fact, he's got like 3 million views on it. So it's like we call it winning the YouTube lottery. But yeah, thanks, man. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate it. And I don't know, I put this beautiful sunny background of the waves and the palm trees and a sunny day just for you, Mike. So I hope I'm bringing a little warmth to all of you up there in the Great White North.
That's right. Yeah, because if I were showing my background, it would be snowfall and you name it, just snow. Pretty much snow is how to describe it. So
I wore the floral shirt for you. But hey, yeah, thanks, man. Excited to be here.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention too, so for those folks that are wondering, so I went back and looked, and assuming my math is right here, Paul, 146 videos on your YouTube channel, and you've got right now at about 3,600 subscribers. So, you know, it's tough to get subscribers on YouTube. Well, some people who have been successful might not say that, but for a lot of agents, like, it's tough. It takes time. And it takes consistency to sort of be at 3,600 subscribers, 146 videos, and about 4 years now of doing your channel. You've come a long way, and you've got a lot of content out there. So congrats for all the hard work and what you're doing. And I know it's growing. So
I appreciate it. Yeah, my story is one of persistence. You know, some agents, everyone's going to have a different audience, you know, or they call it an avatar that you're going to attract to your channel, and we'll get into that probably a little bit. But it's everyone has a different journey on it, and so, you know, you're going to attract certain people who want to watch you because, you know, that's what you're doing, right? It's kind of like you attract your tribe, and you know, I'm not a young guy. I'm in my 50s, so, you know, I'm not necessarily going to attract the millennials and stuff to watch my channel. I know my demographics, and I look at it on my analytics, and it's people 46 to 65. So, and although a lot of them are on YouTube, they didn't come up in the world with social media that many of y'all did. So they're not on YouTube as much as consuming it as much as other people. So they may watch one video, they may watch a little bit more. And then whereas someone younger may sit and watch like 2 hours of videos or whatever, just sit there and, you know, like Netflix and binge watch. So it's taken a while, but yeah, I'm like the little train that, you know, kind of, I think I can, and just keep plugging away. And so I just hit 3,600 subscribers. I'm really excited about that. But I have seen some of my friends that have, you know, skyrocketed up to 15 and 20,000 and stuff. But again, that's their journey. Everyone's going to have a different journey. And then there's agents who can't get past 100 subscribers. And you're right, they get frustrated and just kind of give up. So it's definitely a long haul or a marathon with YouTube.
Well, and I think a lot of people too would say, you know, in some ways, you know, don't compare yourself to everybody else, because it's subscribers are nice, right? That's the number that everybody looks at. But at the end of the day, you are an agent, and the way that you're making money right now is by selling houses and helping people buy houses. So even if you had 3 subscribers and nobody subscribed to your channel, but you still had leads coming through the nose and you were having plenty of business, you would still be happy about that. So you know, it's kind of finding that balance between comparing yourself to others, but at the same time, it's helping to fund your real estate business. And so if you're getting good leads and you have half as many subscribers as somebody else, who cares? Because it's getting you what you want out of making the channel.
Absolutely. It's a vanity metric. It's like you feel good about it. But the reality is, I know other realtors around, you and I are both in one of the same Facebook groups, and that I joined many years ago, and where I learned about making videos for real estate. And I know for a fact there's agents with like 650 subscribers, but they got like $4 or $5 million contracts, leads, like literally from buyers, like, hey, we love you. They were just in that market. They represented that type of luxury brand, and someone liked it, and next thing you know, they're doing $4 million contracts. So yeah, the numbers, as long as you're putting some good content out there, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. If it's good and you're consistent, someone's going to see it, YouTube's going to promote it, and then the phone usually starts ringing.
Yeah. So let's go back to the beginning here. What did you do before you got into real estate, and kind of how did you get into real estate, and then kind of even up to, making that decision to decide that video is going to be one of your main lead gen tools?
Okay. Yeah. So I've been in sales most of my life. Most of my adult life, I've been in sales one way or another. Way back when I was in my late 20s, I was doing like office equipment, and jokingly, I sold fax machines. If any of you guys can remember that, I'm dating myself, but I used to put a fax machine in the back of my car and take it and go door to door to office buildings and try to sell it. It's like, hey, it's the fax man or the copy guy making copies,
Yep.
like Rob Schneider.
Yep.
So, but I used to do that. So a lot of old school selling, and then I ended up in the telecom industry for about 10, 13 years doing phone systems and voice over IP when it first came out. And I did that for a while. But I knew it was changing. I saw a change in the industry, and I'd always kind of wanted to do real estate. Matter of fact, back in like 2003, I actually went to school. Back then, they didn't have it electronically. You had to go to Miami and take the test in a big room with a big sheet of paper. And I didn't pass the exam, so that was for my state license. And I said, okay, it's not meant to be, and I just gave up. But it was still bugging me in 2011. It's like started like, man, maybe I do want to do it. And so I just said, all right, let's go back to school. So I went back to school and, got my license. I kind of started part-time. And I remember talking to this broker saying, hey, I'm thinking about getting my license. She goes, great, when you get your license, call me back. It was like during the holidays, and she was super busy. And so I called her back and said, hey, I got that license. And she never thought she'd hear from me again. And like that. And I said, I got that license. And so I went to work for a small boutique brokerage where I spent about 8 years. And that's kind of how I got into real estate. And then in the past year, right before COVID, I jumped over to KW. So I just spent a year with KW Innovations here in Boynton Beach. So about 9 years in total. I went back to school to get my broker associate license, which, it's a nice title, but at my age, I don't think I'm ever going to open up my own brokerage. I think it's probably just more of a headache than I want to deal with. But who knows? Maybe when I'm 60.
So what did you do then in real estate kind of before you got into the video? What was kind of your source for finding clients?
Yeah, I mean, I held open houses. I did every once in a while the broker had a buyer and they needed help. I would go take that buyer and show them around and work a split with the broker. I did mailers. I did a lot of door. I actually used to go hang door hangers, door-to-door hangers. A lot of the old school direct marketing. Yep. And then I tried some stuff on Facebook, but I never, still don't, funny enough, I never really quite learned how to do the Facebook ads, which is something I'm working on right now. But I just did the old school stuff, making phone calls and trying to find any business you could, and a lot of networking. And then of course your sphere of influence and all those people reaching out in the Chamber of Commerce and all that. And it was going okay. It was doing all right. But then, and I actually got for our office, we have a small boutique office of about like 20 agents, but like I earned Salesman of the Year, and I was doing pretty good. But then I knew social media was big. Like I guess for an older guy, I always saw the value in social media. I could see it. And I saw Facebook, and I saw people doing stuff on Facebook, making these videos. And I was like, wow, look at these videos on Facebook. And I thought, well, I know YouTube was kind of big. I knew people were going there, but I didn't know about real estate. And so I just said, well, let's just start making videos. And so once I went down the rabbit hole and realized, everything that was there, it just opened up a whole new world to me. So it took a while though. So, I mean, once I started doing it, I knew nothing. But then as I started to get more down that rabbit hole, I found like the Facebook group that you and I were talking about this morning. I found these Facebook groups of other people that think like me and said, hey, we make videos too. And then I realized there was ways you could make videos that targeted buyers and not just, talking about, a house or talking about the market report, but more things that people are interested in. And then I started to learn, and I'm still learning, but that really opened it up for me. And then the views just kind of slowly started growing. Then once I started to hone in on things like analytics and really like anything, once you start focusing on that and being consistent, then I saw the growth.
Mm-hmm. Now, where did Palm Beaches Paul come from? Was that something you had before you created your YouTube channel, or did you kind of come up with that name and then rebrand yourself, or how did that come
No,
to be?
no, funny enough, I actually used to call myself the Barefoot Realtor because so, for everyone knowing, I live down here in South Florida, right? It's sunny, the beaches, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
really 90% of the time I'm in flip flops. And but there was already someone that had a name Barefoot. Actually, I've met the guy. He actually was in one of my videos. He's not a realtor, but he had a channel and he was already doing it. I just didn't want to copy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a neat guy, and he just kind of talks about living down here, but not in a real estate way. So the area we live in is called Palm Beach County,
Yep.
and they call it the Palm Beaches because like there's Delray Beach and Boynton Beach and West Palm Beach. So they call it the Palm Beaches. And I didn't want to call myself Palm Beach Paul, which everyone mistakenly does, because the island of Palm Beach, where all the rich and famous live, although it's beautiful, I'm not part of their MLS. I'm not part of that. They actually have their own MLS and their own real estate board. And I'm not representing people selling $50 million homes. I wish I was. I would love it, but I don't think it's not. So I just said, okay, how about Palm Beaches Paul? I wanted something catchy, and I'm just stuck with it. And it was kind of trying to brand myself. Like I was like, how do you brand yourself to be different? And I said, all right. And it was so funny because when I said it the first few times on video, I go, oh God, are people going to just make fun of you? And I'm sure some did, but now I'm just kind of used to calling myself Palm Beaches Paul on video and stuff. And it stuck. So it's kind of my branding name, and it worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely works. I mean, when I found you, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like it's something that people remember.
Yeah.
And even just, when I first went to your YouTube channel before I reached out, like I was like, okay, like I can see the brand, I can see what you're going for, I can see what you're trying to attract with your channel. And it makes a lot of sense. And you have a good product, and you're putting out good quality videos. So that all sticks with somebody from Minnesota. It definitely sticks. And for, people in Minnesota, there's a ton of people that move down to Florida. And so, everything that you're putting out makes sense for people. And yeah, you're certainly building a good brand around that where they know you as that guy that does that thing, that I'm going to remember and come back to. And especially too, but as people are scrolling through YouTube, they might not remember somebody just based on their name, but Palm Beaches Paul, you're going to remember that. And so it definitely sticks.
That's kind of what I was hoping for, because it was either that or a real catchy channel. And at the time I couldn't think of a catchy channel. And as you know, there's a lot of people doing videos now, maybe not a bunch, but a lot more agents are doing it now. It's just becoming more popular. And it's kind of like moving to Minnesota or living in Minnesota, right, or something like that. But you might not remember that, but I thought they'll remember a name, and it just has it flows, right? My name's Paul, so Palm Beaches Paul. So just kind of like that. It's like one of my clients likes to, he's from up north, and they call me Paulie Walnuts, like that, and I say like that, and that's, hey, it's Paulie Walnuts. So I just thought, okay, Palm Beaches Paul. And you're right, it's been pretty cool. And it's funny, it was people like, hey, I was riding my bike through one of the towns down here, and I've done some bike videos, and so I just heard it, hey, Palm Beaches Paul. And it's just so funny to hear someone say it, and ended up meeting the guy. So, but yeah, so it's kind of working, and hopefully I can turn it into a little bit more. I'm trying to look into doing some stuff on there with like some merchandise and stuff on the channel, and come up with kind of a cool thing. So
yeah, absolutely. So talk about the kind of the early stages, because so many people do videos and stop, make a couple videos and just kind of, they get busy and forget about it. But still remembering you got to keep feeding the meter every week. And you've been very consistent with that. So was it kind of a strategy decision that you made? Is it, oh, I just really like to make videos, and you just kind of kept sticking with it, and then you saw some success? Or kind of how did you get over that initial hump that so many agents go through of, it's the shiny new penny, I want to do it, and now you've been doing it for 4+ years. How'd you kind of get through those early stages?
okay. Well, in the beginning, when I first started making the videos, a couple things happened. One, I did just like most, I'd make a video and then maybe not make a video for a week or two. And that's why I wasn't seeing any traction, because it's like anything. It's like someone who's going to call on FSBOs or expired listings. They make those, they'll spend like a day or two calling and go, I didn't get anywhere and quit. But then you find the guy that's over there who does it every single day. And real estate is a numbers game, no matter what the marketing it is, whether it's sending out flyers, if it's cold calling, whatever, it's a numbers game. It's just, it's consistency and sticking to it. And that's no different with making videos. You have to make the videos, and the only way you can get better at making videos is make more videos, because my first videos were horrible. And even today, some of my videos, I'm like, ugh, I could have done better at that. You know, you're always learning, because I'm self-taught. No one taught me how to film. I didn't grow up in a world with a camera in my hand, and I was horrible at public speaking. And I didn't even, editing was like, what? How do you do that? So, but I started to make the videos more and more, and eventually some of the videos I started out was like, I didn't want to do a market report video or like, hey, I'm this realtor and this is my listing, which I saw a lot on Facebook. I wanted to attract people to Palm Beach County. So I went out and did videos about some of the parks, because like being a dad and raising our kids down here, my wife and I, we used to always go to these beautiful parks we have. So I started making videos about parks and we're like, hey, if you move to Florida, this is one of the benefits. Like we got these beautiful parks and there's alligators and these birds, and during the winter, it's really nice. And even the summer, it's nice. It's just hot, and people liked it. So, but then, as I said, I found other groups, and I found, you know, a circle of people doing videos, and I started to watch people who are successful, and they said, you got to do one every week, and you got to let them know that on your channel. So anyone's gone to a YouTube channel, you'll see new, you know, videos weekly or videos every Monday, Tuesday. I'd never committed to the Monday, Tuesdays. It was just hard in our business to think that I'm always going to have an event. And I know some agents that do, and I give, you know, mad props to them for doing it. It's really difficult to say, I'm going to produce a video regardless of everything in my life, you know, inspections and buyers and pop up, hey, we want to look at the house this weekend and the kids, and then, but I got to get this video down. So mine was at least once every week, and I've tried to stay consistent with that. And that's when I started to see the growth. But yeah, the first 3 videos were just kind of garbage. And, but you did them, right? Everyone does it. Everyone's got to go through those, just like your first few scripted calls you make to someone, you're gonna be like, and click. Okay, gotta call the next one, right? But and then it just kind of went from there. And then I just started to learn about all sorts of things, more about like what to make videos about, exciting things that would draw people. I started to realize, what do people search for? Well, if they're moving, if I was going to move to Minnesota, what would I search for? Well, I would search on cost of living, and you know, in whatever what city I want to look at. I would be, what are home prices and just stuff like that. And so once I started to do those things, then I started to see the channel to grow and progress.
Now, talk a little bit about, you know, it's one thing to just do the video and I'm shooting myself and I'm the talking head, but you know, there's a lot of your videos just has a ton of B-roll and just a ton of like added special things along the way. How did you kind of decide to incorporate that stuff, or how did that come to be, to where it's just, hey, I'm holding a camera in front of me talking to. Now I was watching one of your videos where you were talking about cost of living, and it's, you know, here's the camera set up in the car, and now it's you getting into the car, you know, and it's showing the, you know, the shots of the aisle as you're walking down the aisle. So when did you kind of decide to do some of that stuff, and how did you decide, what am I going to film in addition to just me talking head person sharing my wisdom?
Yeah, good question. So part of that was, obviously you want to keep someone entertained, so you got to give them some information. But watching me talk and just staring at my face, I don't think is that exciting. So even if I'm giving, you know, there's some guys out there like Graham Stephan, who has like 3 million subscribers. That kid could sit there and talk, but he's really quick, he's super fast, and he has a monitor and he reads everything off a script. And I don't do that. I kind of really ad lib. All my videos are ad lib. I'll have bullet points, but I knew I wanted to show more of a vlog style video. Now, what's funny is that came from me, you know, I got into YouTube. Once I started getting to YouTube, I started watching other videos, and I go, there's all these people who vlogged. Like, I'd never seen any of these vloggers, right? I've never watched a travel video, any of this. And I started watching some of these people, and one guy in particular was a guy named Casey Neistat, and he's like a legend for YouTube, like anyone knows him. And so, of course, I didn't know who the guy was. I discovered him way after he'd already been famous, and I went back and consumed every video he made. And I was just like, wow, this guy rides a skateboard. I used to ride a skateboard as a kid. I'm like, he's doing these fun videos, he's showing the city. So I kind of started to incorporate B-roll, because when you're talking about something, you want to show the people. So if I was talking about a neighborhood and showing the houses, I could sit there and talk to you about the homes, but it's more enjoyable as I'm talking if there's a car driving by and you're seeing the houses that I'm talking about and what they look like, and the different kind of yards. And so it's visually pleasing to people to see that. And then the other part of it is, you asked, why I make the videos. Did I just like it? As I started to make the videos, I sort of became addicted to making videos, and like, I love it. So it's a love-hate relationship, but it's fun. And so the fun part of me is like, hey, let's try and incorporate a cool trick or do something neat. And so there's been pictures, like there's videos, if you'll see a video, there's ones where I'm showing a house and I'll open up the refrigerator and the camera's already in the refrigerator. And then I come in, or the microwave. And it's just fun because people go, oh, that shot was so cool. And it kind of gives a little bit of fun to the video. You know, you have to have a little bit of fun with it, but you still always want to keep the focus on what you're trying to deliver, which is the content and why they researched that video in the first place. So yeah, that part of it's like the filmmaker. I actually just took a filmmaking class by Casey Neistat, and with a bunch of other my real estate buddies. We all signed up for it, and he had to actually make a film and stuff, which I'm behind on that project because I got busy with work. Sorry, teacher. Sorry, Casey. So, but,
yeah, no, there is. I mean, there is a definite different element of those types of videos are much more entertaining, and the talking head thing is nice, and you know, I think the thing that we always want to tell people is done is better than perfect, right? So the people starting, you got to do one video to get to, you know, 150 videos. You got to start with the first one. And so just, it's okay to suck at the beginning, and then you're going to slowly learn, oh, that shot's cooler. Everybody talks about the fridge opening shot. Like, I got to do more of those types of things. And it's going to kind of probably excite you to come up with some of those cool other concepts, but you got to make the first video where I just hold the phone up and I talk, you know, just to get started so that I can get to the rest of them.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning process. I mean, and everyone's going to have different. Some people are very good at putting a green screen behind them and just talking about content. I'm better, and mine literally take more time to do, but I don't mind going out and doing it because I meet people. I've had people go, what are you doing? And I'm shooting a video, and then they're like, oh, you're a realtor? And then we're having a conversation. So I know one of these days it's going to turn into a listing. I'll be sure to come on back on your channel, your show, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's cool. So you do those kind of videos, and you get to people doing the stuff. So it takes a little bit longer to set my videos up, but I don't mind because I'm really showing. If I was going to show you and your family what it's like here, I'm going to go outside and really show you what it's like. And that's what my people really like when I talk to them. Like the clients I'm seeing today, they love that. They go, we love that you showed us what it's like to live there. Because we were moving from Pennsylvania and had no idea. So that's kind of cool.
So let's talk about that. You know, when you get those leads coming in, it most often is it people out of state now because you're highlighting, here's what it's like to live in the Palm Beaches area, and now, hey, I'm moving from Minnesota because I'm sick of the winter and I'm coming down there, or is it local people as well?
No, it's majority of everyone that I've ever dealt business with is definitely from out of state. I don't think I've had, and that's something I am going to work on to focus on some way to make some videos that maybe it's hard to get local because the only way you can get local is maybe putting your video and uploading it organically to Facebook, because you never want to share from YouTube to Facebook, like the link, because they don't like each other, and there's a whole thing.
Facebook doesn't like that. Yeah,
and there's a whole bunch of YouTube gurus who will tell you why I'm not that person, but they're much smarter and have way more videos and views and money from those videos than I do. So I'm going to listen to them. And they said, don't do that. I'm working with a lot of people right now from out of state. One in particular, I went down and, he stayed down here for vacation, and he's going to come back again next week. But where he stayed a vacation, he was talking to the guy, and the guy goes, yeah, I might be one to sell. I went and knocked on that guy's door yesterday. And because it's like, he may, before he even hits the market, be like, hey, I have the buyer. He's interested in buying your property. Like, we could do this deal together, and I'll represent both sides. So it's really neat, the opportunities that are coming about. But yeah, they usually just reach out to you by email, or I had one call me, and she goes, it was so funny. She goes, am I really talking to Palm Beaches, Paul? My mom said reach out to that nice young man. I'm like, I'm 56, but okay. I don't know. He's like, I'm young, but yeah, they call you, and it's kind of funny because it's. I remember when I first started making videos, and one of the YouTube coaches that I had went through, she was like, they're gonna do it. They're gonna say, they're gonna say we're actually talking to you, and you don't think it's gonna happen, and then they do. And it's just a weird thing because you're like, but I'm not famous. Like, but they see you and you're on a show. It's like if they watch and consume a lot of your videos. Like I said, I got 100-something videos. Some people sit there, and one guy said, yeah, I watched through 70 of your videos. I was like, wow. And he's like, he said, where's he? He said, like a couple of years, I forgot where he's from, but he's out in California. He goes, we're not ready, but we definitely want to come to California, from California to Florida. And you're our guy. And that's a cool feeling to have a buyer say, you're our guy. Like, they haven't even met you in person. They're just already bought into you from your videos, and they trust you enough that you know what you're doing in real estate. And then, once I talk to them and they realize, yeah, you're a licensed agent, you've been doing this for a while. So yeah, then it's email, conversations, phone calls, and it is cool. They'll just, like, it's so funny. It says you'll get that call and you see South State number, and I'm like, hi, this is Paul with Keller Williams. Is this Palm Beaches, Paul? Like, yeah. I said, hi, yeah, this is me. How you doing? So, but yeah, most of it's out of state. But it was like last year was great. I mean, it accounted for like almost probably last year. I didn't really prospect much. I relied almost all on YouTube, and it was pretty much 90% of my business came from people. So
Yep.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, and the beauty of that is I mean, it's definitely a long game, right? Because
It
it takes a
is.
while to get going. And yet at the same time, it's not, hey, is this Palm Beaches Paul? Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I'm interviewing you and 5 other agents at the same time. So why don't you tell me why I should choose you? It's no, you're my guy. And so the beauty is you don't have to fight with other buyers agents to go get that buyer because they've seen you, they've seen your personality. This guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows the area. So you've already sold yourself without having to tell them on the phone, here's why you should hire me.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have. So I'm waiting. So the year for me started off a little bit slower, but I know it's going to build because I have so many people from last year. One lady came down, and because of my videos, and any of you realtors out there can relate to this. You know, when they come down and they kind of want to learn the area, so you end up kind of doing more of a tour. And you're like, but you're busy, but you know you don't want to lose them. So you're like, okay, well I got to show these people what it's like around here, knowing they're not going to buy a house or anything. She watched my videos and went everywhere that I had done videos, and she goes, oh, I already know where I want to live. I did all my research from your videos. I'm coming down in like this year, and I'm going to be retiring. I want to buy a house with you. And I was like, wow, like so the YouTube channel did all the work. So that's just, you know, amazing that you get those people calling you. And it is, like I said, it is a long haul. I've got a guy who's been watching me for 2 years, and he's over in the Philippines, and he still touches base. He watches my videos. He comments on them all the time. But he said, I'll be there in July. He goes, I'll see you in July. We're buying a house. And it's you know, 2 years. I have other people another one's like, we've been watching you for like a year, but we just COVID messed it up. So, but it's building that pipeline, and the beauty of this is that when I make one of these videos, if it's a good evergreen video, right? So like, what's it like to live in a certain area? That video just goes on forever. Like my pros and cons video, even though some things may change, some of the pros and some of the cons may change over time. You know, maybe like the traffic might get better or worse, whatever you want to talk about, but it lives on forever, and they just call you.
Have you heard feedback? So like, I'm always curious with those types of pros and cons videos, or, you know, 5 reasons why you shouldn't live here, those types of things. Like, do you get feedback from people that disagree with you or have their own input, and kind of what's that like?
Oh yeah. So first of all, you have to filter out a lot of comments. Some of them I just have to remove because a lot of them are really just not appropriate. And I'm like, I'm not going to have that on my channel. And then you always get the one like, oh, you didn't talk about crime. It's like, well, I'm a realtor, and first of all, we don't really talk about what's a safe neighborhood, not a safe neighborhood, because I'm not a police officer, and we're not supposed to. I've had, you know, lawyers say you can't say that's good. Why are you saying it's good and not good? So they're like, you know, and I usually respond back and say, look, everywhere has crime. Tell me a place that doesn't have crime, and I'll move there. But you know, everywhere has some bit of crime, so you get those. But mostly, you know, some people, and then you'll get a couple of comments and stuff. Oh, you can't afford to live there. It's so expensive. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, that's the market right now. It's nutty, but it's not too bad. And what's really fun is when they come to your defense, when you're true followers, some of the people, they actually stick up for you. And that one's just, I leave it alone. It's just like, it's good because YouTube's got like, you got action, right? People are making comments, and YouTube loves that. So it's like, I won't say anything. I just leave it. And had one person, oh, you can't say that. You know, this is a beautiful place, and I've lived here. And they went back and forth. I'm like, oh, I'm just sitting out. Okay, play nice. So, meanwhile, analytics are loving it. So.
So just some of the technical aspects a little bit here, kind of the editing, the music, the, you know, deciding what videos to make, and kind of nerding out a little bit on that kind of stuff. How has that changed and grown over the last 4 years?
Sure. So when I started, I had a camera and a selfie stick, and they were shaky. And if you watch those videos, you'll probably get nauseous and click off after a few minutes. But you learn. You, like I said, you find other people, you see what other people are using, you wait, you learn, you save up, you watch videos. So then I went to like a GoPro. Started using a GoPro, and that had a better shot, but it still was an older GoPro, and it didn't have the stability in it like the new GoPros do. So that means for anyone listening, is it's like it shook a lot. Those older GoPros would shake. So then I upgraded to a newer camera that was still an action camera, and it had a built-in stability. So that was awesome. And then I upgraded to a microphone, and they had little kits. So originally it was just a cell phone with poor audio. The video quality wasn't bad because they were shooting pretty good video. You know, I think you had 1080p on that Samsung camera back then, but it wasn't stable. And the audio was horrible on those mics. So then I upgraded to an action camera, and then about a year ago, I finally went and bought a real camera. So I got a Canon M50, which is still an entry-level camera. And I'm about to add a better wide angle lens to it, so that when I'm doing a lot of my videos where I'm talking and you see me talking into the camera, sometimes I feel like the camera's too much in my grill and it's too much on my face for someone to want to see. So the wider angle will give more of a background shot and pull me out of it a little bit. So I'm learning, but yeah, the camera gear progressed. Then I have a drone. I'm actually studying. I joke, I've been studying for my drone license since last May. I study and then I watch a module, and then I don't watch a module for 2 weeks and I go back and watch. I need to sit down and study and get that. So I need my Part 107 license to use the drone in my videos. And then the editing software, I've stuck with the same editing software since the very beginning. It's called Cyberlink by PowerDirector, and it's just the one I learned on. Everyone uses Adobe. I would like to use Adobe. Adobe is much cooler. It's much slicker. It's also more expensive monthly. But it is the one that pretty much everybody uses who's really serious about making videos, or Final Cut Pro. But I learned on this software, and to go and learn an entire new editing software while still trying to be productive and making videos weekly, I would fall so far behind that it's something I'll have to do when I have that kind of time.
How much time would you say it takes from,
Start
kind
to
of
finish?
planning the video, going and shooting the video, the editing and all that stuff in 1 week's time?
Yeah. So I'll get an idea, and then I'll think about what it is I want to do, and then in my head I logistically think about the shots, and like I said, like the B-roll, where I'm going to do, and a lot of that comes as I get there. So usually when I go out and shoot a video, depending on how many locations I have to do, I did a video of 55 and older recently for Boynton Beach, and that one was an all-day event because I had to go and do the last part of the video first, because I knew driving, what I was going to do driving, I didn't want to go back and forth, and it was by the beach. So I shot the end of the video first, which I don't normally do, is I always shoot my videos in chronological order. Like I'll go this, this, and this, and that's how in my head I can put them together. So, but that video took a while because I had to go to one place and film. Then I went to another community. Then you said you saw where like maybe the car's driving. I had to get that footage, and that's just putting the camera on there. And then I had the talking part. So it took a while. But for me, it's like I look at it. I just in my mind, I say, okay, you're making a video today. This is what we're doing. And then you finish it, and that's your goal. So some people may block out time to make phone calls or whatever. And obviously I put it around things with like clients and showings and stuff that I have to do. But it could take 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, depending on the video. And then I have to come back and edit it, and that can be another half a day or an evening. But I do it in the evening when I'm it's quieter and I don't have much to do. And I'll just edit the video out and get it ready. So I'd say it's probably a good 2 days process from filming and editing. If you were to take everything, it's a good full 2 days to get it done and put it out there. But my videos are longer too. I do long form videos, and I'm trying to shorten them down a little, but I don't do the short, like 3-minute videos.
Yeah, and they're more in depth, and people get a chance to learn more from it than just a quick little 3-minute video too. So
yeah,
and they're entertaining.
Yeah. So yeah. So and I'm always wanting more equipment. There's always more gear you want to get. So, but you can, like I said, you can start these videos as easy as with like I know Apple. I'm not an Apple user, but you can get the Apple, and it has Apple software, has built-in software.
Yep, iMovie.
Yeah, and you can literally make a nice video with that. So if you're thinking about doing it, just start doing it and record. It's pretty simple. So I'm excited. I'm excited because Wednesday I'm doing a big video, and this is really exciting because it's the first time I've hired a videographer to film me. So I'm gonna actually have a guy with all the camera gear, and he's gonna film me. But it's because I'm filming a $10.5 million property, and I want it to look good because that realtor is giving me the opportunity to film that property for my channel, and I wanted it to look super good. So he's gonna have the drone and everything. So that's pretty exciting for me because that's gonna be like the first really big luxury video that I've ever shot.
And you just saw that listing was coming live and just reached out to the listing agent, right?
Yeah, I went and did a little search for high-end properties in my area, and the first one that popped up was I looked between like 2 and 15 million, and the first one that popped up was this $10.5 million property. So I sent him an email on a Friday evening, thinking, he's like, whatever, who are you? I don't know who you are. But I just said I have a YouTube channel, and I get about 15,000 views a month, and I got almost 4,000 subscribers, and I'd love to feature it. And all it takes is one person to see it and want to buy it. So and he goes, yeah, sure. When you want to come film it. So that's going to be a goal of mine this year, is to be trying to do one luxury video a month, mixed in with all my other stuff. I'm also doing live streams now every Thursday at 6. I go and I do a live stream, and that's helping my channel grow. And this Thursday, I have a real estate attorney coming on, and we're going to talk. But like last week, I just basically got on Google Earth and showed people all my favorite beaches, right? I did a Google showing them a visual, and we went up the coast and showed all the different beaches, and they sat and watched it. But it's funny because it's more of a relaxed, because I call it Pints with Paul, because I'm a craft beer guy. So I tell everyone, pull up a drink, have a cocktail, whatever your choice is, and let's discover Palm Beach. And people are watching. I'm like amazed that they're hanging in there and they're asking questions and they're reaching out to me. And that one's really cool, because now you're kind of connecting with your fan base in the live stream. So that's how it's kind of changed and gone to that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, congrats on your success and what you're doing. I mean, it's definitely a long vision. It takes a lot of work. And so I don't want to minimize that, because there's so many people that quit. I mean, even podcasts, I think it's something like 90% of podcasts don't make it past 6 episodes because people are like, hey, I want to do a podcast. And then after 6, they don't have people, knocking down their door, and they're like, I'm going to go move on to something else. So it takes a special kind of person to stick with it and keep going. And you're doing that, and a very entertaining channel. It's good quality stuff. It's great information, and it's just going to continue to take time and continue to grow. And you'll have more people yelling, hey, Palm Beach is Paul, as you're driving down the street. So
yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a great way. It's helped. It's been rewarding because it's been great for my family. It's brought a lot of business in. I have one of my best years ever. And literally after this, I'm getting ready to go up and meet clients that I've been working with, and we're looking at an $800,000 house. And what's really nice about it is it brought me from a level of where I was doing like $300,000 and $400,000 clients to where I'm getting up into the $1 million clientele range. And that wasn't what I was doing before. And this channel opened all that up to me. So it's pretty exciting. But yeah, I appreciate it. It's fun. It's a lot of good, and keep watching. I got some exciting videos coming up this year, and so I'm trying to do some new stuff. So get back out there here in sunny South Florida.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, obviously we've got, Palm Beaches Paul, right? So Palm Beaches with ES on the end. Exactly. On the YouTube channel. Any other thing that you want to share about folks getting a hold of you?
You just, if you want to reach out to me, you can just, it's Paul G. Lykins at kw.com. So if they want to have any questions, you can certainly shoot, and if you have any questions, or if any of you guys you want to have this nice gentleman here, Mike, sell your property up there and get get out of the cold, and you want to come to sunny South Florida, I'm sure Mike and I can work something out.
That's right. This is the time people want to leave Minnesota, so they can come down to the Palm Beaches area for sure.
We'll leave a seat for you on the beach, Mike. You can come down and hang with us. So, just go check out the channel, and like I said, just Palm Beaches Paul if you type that in, and it's a lot of fun. I don't take myself too serious. You guys will see I ride a skateboard sometimes, a beach cruiser. I'm just trying to have fun and still deliver content to people about what it's like to live here, but in a more relaxed way and just kind of fun. I'm 56, I gotta enjoy life, right? So just have fun with it. But I appreciate it, and I appreciate your audience for hanging in there.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you, man.